Today's Edison format deck profile, Fiends. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going through an Edison format deck profile, a little bit of Dark Worlds, some other Fiends thrown in there. So if you like seeing these deck profiles, be sure to smash that subscribe button so you can see all the rest that are coming soon too. Alright guys, and starting off the deck profile, we have the big baddie himself, the big bad dad of the deck. Now with us having so many dark monsters in our deck, it's a pretty viable option to have Dark Arm Dragon in here. Not only that, with our ability to get out such high attack monsters for free, Dad helps us clear out the field and kind of enable an OTK. So we got one copy of the Big Bad Dad himself, followed by two copies of the best Monarch, Caius, the Shadow Monarch, just to help, banish off some monsters and cards and whatnot from our opponent's side of the field. And hey, if they're dark, you inflict 1,000 damage just to help dwindle them down a little bit more. Following up next, we have three copies of Gold, Warlord of the Dark World. Now with him, if he's discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, which we have quite a few of those in here, you're going to be able to special summon him. So, with a 2300 attack for free like that, pretty solid stats to get out for free. Not only that, if he is discarded by opponent's card effect, you can also select up two cards your opponent controls and destroy them. So a little bonus there if he does get discarded by your opponent's card effect. Now moving on with our Dark World monsters, we actually have three copies of Silva, the Dark Warlord. With him, he's got the same effect as Gold. If he's discarded by your card effect, you're able to special summon him. If he's discarded by your opponent's, well then, you select two cards in your opponent's hand, return them to the bottom of their deck. So, pretty good for some hand destruction in there. Or really just hand remodeling. I wouldn't really say destruction. Next up, we have three copies of Brow, Huntsman of the Dark World. So if he's discarded to the graveyard, you can draw one card. Pretty good to help get through our deck a little bit quicker. Not only that, if he's discarded from the hand of the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, draw one more card from your deck. So, pretty solid. A little pot of greed if he gets discarded by your opponent. Now, moving on, we are playing the Psychic package, I guess you could say. So we got two copies of Krebons in here, since we do have our Power Well and E-Emergency Call, or E-Teleport. So, solid way to get out of Tuner. Solid way to synchro to something a little bit stronger as well too. So two copies of Krebons in here, followed by our one copy of Sangan, our one copy of Morphine Jar, since he's going to be discarding cards to the graveyard, so able to chain off a few effects on there. Then we have our one copy of Gale the Whirlwind, followed by our one copy of Gors, the Emissary of Darkness, to round out our monsters in the main deck. Now moving on to our spell cards. We are playing three copies of Dark World Dealing. So each player draws a card, then they discard a card. So pretty easy and free real estate to trigger off those Dark World monsters' effects, especially when you're special summoning some pretty high attack monsters for free. So three copies of Dark World Dealing, followed by two copies of a card that I kind of like in this deck actually, Nobleman of Extermination. So it's very close to Cross Out, but instead of monsters, it's going to be spell and traps. If it's a trap, well, both players have to banish that trap from their deck. But it helps kind of get over things like a Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute or Treacherous Trap Hole, especially because you are going to be special summoning monsters so easily in this deck that you don't want to get hit and kind of screw yourself over. So, just another way of prime real estate to get through your opponent's back row and not really have to deal with anything that they might be scheming up back there. So moving on, we have our psychic package of the emergency teleport and telekinetic power well. So 1 and 2 of that, followed by 2 copies of Drag Down into the Grave. So force your opponent to discard a card from your hand. So you got 2 copies of that in there. Then you also get to draw a card afterwards as well too. So not too bad. Following up with the drawing, we actually have 3 copies of Upstart Goblin with the power to OTK relatively easily in this deck. It's okay if our opponent has a little extra life going on for him. So 3 copies of Upstart Goblin for that, followed by 1 copy of Allure of Darkness, since everything's a dark. Next up, we have our 1 copy of Card Destruction, be able to trigger off those discard effects, followed by 1 Brain Control, 1 Heavy Storm, and 1 Mystical Space Typhoon just to round out the spells. Now, at the traps, because we are running Nobleman of Extermination, we're not running too many traps, but we are playing 2 copies of Deck Devastation Virus just to really destroy our opponent's lower attack monsters, especially because we get such free real estate with monsters that have over 2,000 attack. This card's pretty viable a lot of the time. So 2 copies of that, followed by a copy of Torrential Tribute, followed by a copy of Mirror Force to round out the main deck. And now we have the extra deck, which is nothing too special, too targeted with this extra deck. It's kind of just, you know, spam out good synchro monsters if you get the chance to. So we got our 2 copies of Stardust Dragon, our 1 copy of Red Dragon Archfiend, our copy of Catastor, our Thought Ruler Archfiend, our Magical Android, our Blackwing Armor Master, our Black Rose Dragon, our X-Saber Urbelm, our Colossal Fighter, our Goyo Guardian, our Brio, our Dark End, since we have so many dark monsters in our deck, our Mistworm, and of course we have our Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon if you got that Cyber Dragon in the side deck, which I would definitely advise if you're playing Edison format. So there you have it, guys. That is the Fiend deck that I've been playing around with, and actually been having a lot of fun with it as well too. But I think down the line I will be trying something that's going to be a little more pure Dark World, because I have been really enjoying Dark World as of late. So I don't know. You guys let me know down below. What kind of list do you think would be a good, more so pure Dark World than, you know, what I got going on here? But hey, be sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below what you guys think, and be sure to use those links down below as well too. Be sure to check out rpkgaming.com. Be sure to check out that TCG player link down below as well too. Helps out the channel more than you can know. We will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye, mwah, and good night.